I've just bought these two cars, and this is what a day in my life as a car flipper looks like. I've flipped countless cars over the last 6 years, making me hundreds of thousands of dollars, and this is exactly what we're gonna be doing today. So let's get into it. We're gonna be focusing on these two cars, and might do a little bit of work on another one. Let me introduce you to one of the worst cars I've ever seen. I've already cleaned and fixed a lot, but it's still horrible. The bumper's falling off, there's dings, dents, and scratches all over. It's missing a trim piece, the paint's peeling, cracking the windshield, and there's much more wrong with it. On the inside, the driver's seat's just totally ripped up, and the leather on all of them is destroyed. There's wear and tear all over and a ton of badly fixed things by the previous owner. Of course, there's a problem in the trunk too, because this car can't have a single thing that's good about it. It gets even worse when I turn the car on, because just about every light on the dash is on. And when I'm driving it, there's multiple suspension problems that cause it to handle badly, and it just makes a whole bunch of noise. That's not it though. Of course, there's transmission problems too. And it's a salvage title car. In the engine bay, it's not too bad. Well, aside from the oil leak and the coolant leak. And maybe some stuff I missed. The struts also don't work. They don't even hold the own hood up, so I gotta hold it myself. Mind you, these are the problems it has now. I already fixed a lot and got started on some. I normally would avoid a car like this, but there's only one reason I would buy it. And that's if I didn't have to buy it, which in this case is true. I was given it for completely free. But when I went to go buy this car, something really unexpected happened, and honestly, I shouldn't even have it behind me right now. We'll get to that later. It's a S60 Volvo. I think it's like a 2006, but it does have 213,000 miles on it or something. I've already deep cleaned the thing inside and out, but it hardly looks like it. And I've already restored all like these black pieces around the car and all of the trim, like here at the window and on the cowl. If you're wondering what this thing is, it's the trim piece that came off. It's all bent up. I don't even know if I'll be able to put it on, but we'll see. I also sanded the faded headlights. They were so yellow before. And then I went over them and clear coated them, so they're all nice and shiny again. I also went along the whole car and replaced a couple small parts, and there's honestly still some missing, but we're probably gonna leave those. Oh, and I did an oil change too. Today we'll be repairing the seats, putting the trim piece on, connecting all the bumpers back on, cleaning the engine bay, and giving it a good wipe down with the ceramic wax so we could get all the dust off. Now before we fix this car, let me show you the next one we'll be fixing. It's a 2011 BMW 335D, which is diesel, with 90,000 miles on it. I got it from a friend who had the car sitting in their yard for 5 years. And the way I got it, along with the other one, they're both crazy stories, which I'll tell you about after this. I've already cleaned the outside, but it was sitting under a tree just like the other one, so they both got dirty. The outside on this thing is like practically brand new. I couldn't find a single thing wrong with it on the outside. On the inside, I scrubbed down all the plastics and the seats, but I haven't gotten around to vacuuming it yet. There's literally nothing wrong. This car's practically brand new. Well, there's some things that's wrong with it, of course. And here's the back seats. Oh, and those are just jumper cables because the battery was dead and I'm gonna need a new one. Now in the trunk, it's pretty great looking. In the engine bay, I've already cleaned it up, so it's looking pretty good, but you should have seen what it looked like. It was crazy dirty and a whole bunch of problems. There was a family of rats living in it, and they chewed through a bunch of wires, pooped everywhere, and built nests of leaves and random stuff all throughout it. Most of it's out though. I've already rewired a lot of wiring that they chewed through, and it's actually like a soy-based like coating around the wires, which is why the rats eat it. I guess it's like environmentally friendly or something. Just not that good of an idea, but it's all good now. You know, it's like eating a donut and you can't resist eating it because it's just right there in front of you. Guess that's what rats are like. Damn, that's not good. These things both have late registration by years. Let's see what he wants. And there he goes. All right, so here's what just happened. Well, of course, I was parked in the street in some random neighborhood. It was just a good spot for the video. And then the cop pulled up. He just like drove up, turned on his lights. He was like, hey, what are you doing here? And then we talked for a bit. He seemed cool, he didn't care. The neighbors came, they walked by and they saw me and like the cars working on them, popped the hood and everything. And they called me in. They were like, there's this random dude with no shoes on. He's working on cars. The cop was very cool about it. He just wanted me to move just so the neighbors didn't care about it anymore. And yeah, that's what went on. We moved to a new location because of the cop, but now we got another spot. All right, back to this car. The original reason it was left out to sit for 5 years was because of a problem called carbon buildup. It's a common problem where like in the air intake and in the valves, a whole bunch of carbon builds up in the engine and kind of like makes it struggle to breathe, so it's like a smaller hole instead of when it's supposed to be bigger. It's just an emission system that pumps oil and soot back into the air intake because they don't want to go out into the environment, I guess. So every time you drive it, it leaves a small layer of carbon and it slowly builds up and starts like this and then it keeps getting smaller. So it just has a hard time to breathe. It's a little bit like coronavirus, like when we had to wear the masks and you're sucking in your own carbon dioxide and you can hardly breathe. So over time, over these 90,000 miles, it just built up so much and it causes it to run badly, misfire, and all sorts of stuff. It's kind of hard to get it on camera, but it's like choppy, you know? So of course we're gonna have to fix this because nobody wants to buy it like that. There's a low tire air light on, but that's not a big deal, along with a ton of codes on it, resulting in a check engine light that are mostly from the carbon buildup. The headlights were yellow, but along with the other car, I already sanded them and clear coated. Along with these two interior parts, they were missing and I just got new ones. And I fixed the faded trim and replaced most of the fluids. In the engine bay, you can see a whole bunch of gross stuff, leaves and whatever, sitting on that lower tray. So we're gonna get under the car and remove the tray to get all that out. And we're gonna clean the exterior again because it's dirty. I replaced the diesel because it was sitting in there for 5 years. I've heard it can last like pretty much forever, but it's better not to risk it and just replace it. It's not too hard. Oh, I also replaced the oil in the filter too because it's the exact same thing. You can't have the oil just sitting in there for 5 years and expect it to be perfectly fine. It kind of breaks down and doesn't lube as well, and it'll just break your engine over time. Let's start fixing these things up. We're gonna take the BMW to the car wash to vacuum the inside and get all the gunk off. I hope it'll make it there because it's been sitting for 5 years, and in that time, it's only driven 50 foot, and that was me. I'll tell you more in a second on the drive, but here's what happens when we start it and drive it. It's hard to tell, but it's definitely running a bit rough from all the carbon buildup. But we'll see if there's anything else wrong. To get all the carbon buildup out of the engine, it usually needs something called walnut blasting. And it's exactly what it sounds like. You get a machine that uses air pressure to shoot out walnut shells at all the soot inside the intake and the valves, and it works almost like sandpaper to remove it all without damaging anything. The problem is that I don't have this machine, and it costs thousands to get done at a shop. So we're going to be trying a few things to get rid of it myself. Here's how I got this one. One day I got a call. My friend was getting rid of a car because they're moving. But there's a few slight issues. It's been sitting for 5 years, it won't turn on, and they're moving in a few days. I instantly didn't want it because I didn't want to have to get it towed, registered, and have a big project on my hands. Until they said the price. Free. I said I'd take it and drove over as soon as I could with the plans to get it towed. I had no pictures or practically any information on it, but a free car's a free car. When I got there, it was shoved in the bushes. It looked like it was sitting for 5 years, and a tow truck wasn't going to be able to get it out. So I hooked up some jumper cables, and it actually started up right away. It was enough for me to move it around and just get it to a more accessible place for the tow truck to pick it up. The tow truck showed up 30 minutes later, and I had a trick to actually get it towed for free. Well, let me explain. With AAA, I get a free 200-mile tow every year, along with some other 100-mile ones, and I only pay $100 a year for it. I was afraid this was going to be too far from my house, but when the driver looked up the distance, it was 197 miles away. Not even lying, it was the perfect distance. I asked him how much it would have costed if I went through his company, and he said $12 a mile. That's almost $2,400 for a tow, and I got it free with my membership. Plus, I get 2 more 100-mile ones this year included. The tow went smoothly, and I was able to drive the car off the back of the truck after we jumped it. The next day, I fixed and cleaned up some stuff, and now we're here, fixing up the rest of it. I don't even know what this car is really worth, but I guess we're gonna find out when I sell it. I'll always go through the car wash as opposed to washing a car myself, because it takes an hour or so to do, and so you might as well do the car wash, which take 2 minutes. It's not worth the time, and when flipping cars, you should be making at least $100 an hour. So if something like this only costs $20 to save an hour, of course it's worth it. This thing just needs a simple vacuum and nothing special, because it's really not that bad. And if you're wondering, I like to be barefoot. It's better than wearing shoes, but they do get pretty dirty, so we're gonna have a feet reveal. Alright, let's move on to this next car. It's not as dirty, and I already washed it a bit ago, so I'm just going to wipe it down with some ceramic wax to get it clean and give it a little extra shine. Now on to how I got this Volvo. So there's a group of people I go swimming with in the ocean, and one of the guys months earlier asked me for help with his car paperwork. I helped him and thought nothing of it. Then I showed up for a swim one day, and he asked me, "Do you want a car? You can have it for free." Obviously, I said yes, without even knowing what car it was. He just told me, "It's a Volvo. It'll take you anywhere with no problems. The AC's cold. It's a good car. It just won't smog." Sounds amazing. Well, you know how that turned out. It's got a lot more problems than it sounded like. But it really doesn't matter because it's a free car. So I get an Uber to meet him, and then he drives me to go pick up the car with him. We show up, and I kid you not, it's getting towed as we drive up. They're writing up tickets, and it's looking bad. We talk to the driver, and she says, "Registration's expired. It's getting towed." The guy who's giving me the car doesn't know what to do. He's supposed to give me the car, and now it's getting towed. So he starts ranting about the situation for a few minutes to the girl. She says, "Alright, I'll cancel it all." They then leave the car there and let me take it home. So I cleaned it, I fixed up some stuff, and now we're here. Yeah, the AC's cold, it's got brand new tires, and it drives. But practically everything else you can think of is broken. With both of the cars clean inside and out, we're gonna get to fixing them both. Next up, we're gonna be sewing this seat I'm in right now, but to be honest, I've never done this before. I have no clue what I'm doing. Didn't watch a YouTube video, so we're just gonna see what happens. So Grandma, if you're watching, don't criticize me. All right, Grandma, I'll be honest. Did a pretty horrible job. It doesn't look much better. This part, it does look better, but maybe I'll learn. Maybe I'll leave it to the pros next time. Since we're not gonna fully fix up everything on this car and it's already beat up, I'm just gonna leave the seat how it is, and it's better than before. That's kind of what we're doing on this car. As long as it's better than before, we're good. All right, now we're gonna be painting up some scrapes and chips in the paint with silver paint. And it has this weird tip I can't really use. It's like for super small chips, not for this type of stuff. So we're gonna have to deal with it. I spilt paint all over the ground, my shirt, my phone, my tripod, trying to open up the paint pen to see if there was like a brush in it. And there was a brush, so I went over all the spots I missed because the point I was using before didn't work too well. Halfway through it, I kind of went back over everything. It's starting to look a little better, but of course, not too great. I just don't really care about this car as much because it's so beat up and like, it's whatever. It looks better than before for sure. All right, so I got a screwdriver, and what we're gonna be doing is scraping off these little pieces of sap from trees that got like on the paint, and we just had to scrape them off. You probably shouldn't use a screwdriver, but I don't have any plastic razor blades. It'll do, it's already scratched up. So now that we cleaned it up, used a paint pen everywhere, got all that sap off, fixed the seat, we're gonna move on to the other car and we'll come back to this one to do a couple more things. In the engine bay, you can see a whole bunch of gross stuff, leaves and whatever, sitting on that lower tray. So we're gonna get under the car and remove the tray to get all that out. And while we're there, I'll look for any leaks or anything else that might have a problem. All right, this is insane how much stuff there is there. I didn't expect there to be this much, but there also was a lot more that I just reached down in the engine and grabbed out, but there's still a lot. Check this out. By the way, if you don't know, that's all from the rats that were living inside it for 5 years. It's kind of crazy. All right, I just emptied all this out and now I'm just gonna wipe down a little bit. It doesn't need anything much, but just to make it a little better, you know? It's under the car, so you're never gonna notice it. Now let's see how it looks under the car now that we got that off. It's got a little bit of leaves, but it's really not bad at all. It's pretty clean down here. I'll look closer for any oil leaks or anything. This might be coolant, I'm not sure, but it also could just be from the morning, it getting a little frosty, you know? All right, I just got into the car and wiped some stuff down, and check all this stuff that fell out. All of that too. All that's done. We got everything finished, but after, I just wanted to clean it up for the next owners and so they don't have to deal with all that. But we're gonna have to take off a part in the intake to spray in some gunk to try and get the carbon buildup out. I'm not sure how well it's gonna work, but we'll see if it makes it run any better. I got the hood popping, and essentially what we're doing is we're removing the air intake. Then we're gonna spray this stuff right down in that hole. And it was already loose, and so it just pops right off, but we'll tighten it back later. Some people like to take off even closer to the engine, but I'm just gonna stick the little nozzle way down in there, and it should be good enough. Now this thing does have a lot of carbon buildup, and I'm not sure if this is gonna fully fix it, but it might help. And we're just gonna pop off this engine cover to get some more room around the area. All right, so what I'm doing right now, I'm just letting the engine run, getting it up to temp, and then we can start spraying the stuff down in that hole. So I'm just gonna keep the engine revved at like 2000 RPM until it gets up to its heat. I just added all the CRC valve cleaner into the intake. Now we have to let the car sit for an hour and then drive it for like 10 minutes after, which I don't think I'll record, but then it's all good. And then I'll see if it's running smoothly, which kind of iffy about. Other than that, we're just gonna go clean the engine bay of the other car, and then I'll be done for the day. It's still bright out, I still could do some more work, but I kind of feel like being done. I'm kind of covered in like rat poop and all this gross stuff from cleaning down there, and I'm just sweaty, it's hot out. It's not fixed. It might be even worse than before. I'm still gonna drive it around for 10 minutes, as that's what you're supposed to do after doing this. See if it changes anything. I doubt it will. This is supposed to be done every 10,000 miles, not 90,000. I was just trying this as it's the easiest thing to do, but I wasn't really sure if it was gonna fix it. I was driving by the gas station as well, so I went ahead and filled the tires with air, and basically what happened is, over the 5 years of it sitting, air just slowly leaks out of tires naturally, so we just filled it back up, and now it's good to go. In the morning, I'm gonna clean the engine bay of the Volvo, and I'm gonna do a couple other things, and then I'll get the cars listed for sale. It's the next day. I'm just gonna clean up a couple things, get the cars back together, and then we'll be pretty much done. I'm just gonna list them for sale, and I'll update you guys when they sell. Let's clean this engine bay, and I'm not gonna do too good of a job because it really just doesn't matter, but it'll just freshen it up a little. I didn't record it, but I also went ahead and replaced the battery in here. Ugh. Oh, I forgot. I replaced the battery in here, and it seems to be working pretty well. Well, of course it is. It's a new battery. Hold up. There we go. We got this thing out, and there's the new battery in there. So now that's all good to go. Now we're gonna list both cars for sale, and I'll tell you how much I sold them for in a couple days whenever they sell. And yeah, we're pretty much good to go. Now on these cars, I didn't do the greatest job, or I didn't fix everything because they're just so broken. It's not really worth it to fix. And I got them for free, so it's free money for whatever they sell for. Now this trim piece, I already bent it back, but it just completely screwed up. It locks in a little bit up there, but... So I just decided to go ahead and not put the trim piece on because it needs so much glue all throughout there, and it practically ruined that spot. And I just don't have the glue, and I just want to get rid of these cars. All right, we are done for the day. Now they just need to be listed. Now we're ready to go. And here is the completed Volvo. These are two cars I would really never buy, since the problems aren't worth fixing to make money on them. But since they're both free, of course it's worth it to take them, clean them up, and do a little work, and sell them. The Volvo could be driven for a long time with no problems if someone buys it and just doesn't get it smoked. This thing is just so beat up all over. I just realized I forgot to fix the bumpers, but this one isn't fixable. You could see it just dented in here from, that's why it's a salvage title. It got dented in and they couldn't fix the whole quarter panel. For this one, I will be able to get it pushed in like that, but it still won't look the best. so it's actually not done. I just gotta fix the front bumper and then it'll be done. The front bumper didn't come out too good, but it just zipped in a little bit to make it a little less noticeable. And I forgot black zip ties, so I just used white ones because it doesn't really matter. And here is the completed BMW. And the BMW is gonna need some walnut blasting. So both of these cars are likely to be bought by someone looking for a cheap car that they can drive around illegally, which you'd be surprised how many people do this. I mean, it's mainly Mexicans. Or just some other flipper or mechanic that wants to fix them up. This thing is like brand new on the inside. I'm back at home listing the cars. It looks like the BMWs are going for a lot of money. So I'm going to list mine for around $4,000. And the Volvos are selling for pretty cheap, so I'll list that at $990, see if anyone wants it. Here's the pictures I took for the cars for the listings, and I'll get back to you when they sell. You guys work on cars or?
Well, we try.
Okay.
Well, it's just because if you don't learn to like work on like your own cars, it gets really sensitive.
For sure, yeah.
So how long have you had it for?
I just got it from, they were moving it. It's like, don't take it. Because the carbon built up and they were just like, yeah, we don't want to deal with this thing.
Okay, how much you end up buying it for?
Oh, they literally gave it to us. All right, so it's the next night, and I just sold both cars today. The BMW just sold like 10 minutes ago, and it's like 11:30 at night. And the Volvo sold early in the day. I sold the BMW for $4,000, and I sold the Volvo for $900. But if you want to see a car flip where I actually do the work and fix up the car right, check out this video next where I made thousands in profit. And I go over everything, like all the details, all the money, what I made, profit, everything.